This is Anthony Olympio, a 6-string country, and these lessons we're going to be working on Up Down by Morgan Wallen. It was written by Brad Clausen, C.J. Solar, and Michael Hardy. A few notes about what's going on. We're going to have pretty standard rhythm lesson, strumming and stuff, and then we're going to have 2 lead lessons because there's a slide part. There'll be 1 lead lesson, and then also the regular lead guitar part. In those, the regular lead is pretty straightforward, some pretty cool licks, and in the slide part, as you can tell, we'll be playing a slide guitar. And there's a really cool guitar harmony in the solo part. So let's get started.
Just in time, went ahead and wait a line for I went and lost my mind, and I ain't been here long, but the bobbers in the pond going up, down, up, down, up, down. Tonight we're gonna raise a whole lot more than came, cause there's money in the bank, and tomorrow's Saturday, so if they pass that fifth jack this way, I turn it up, down, up, down, up, down. We're just holding it down.
This is the rhythm lesson for Up Down. Quick note about the tuning, you need to be a half step down. So every string will be tuned down 1/2 step. So the low E is an E flat, and then A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, and then the high E flat, right? So just down 1/2 step and you'll be ready to go. We have a G over B, same as the G, just not worrying about the low E string. So it'll be 2nd fret of the A, open A, 2nd fret of the A, open D, G, and then 3rd fret of the B and high E. C2, which is the 3rd fret of the A, 2nd fret of the D, open G, 3rd fret of the B and high E. We have an E minor 7, which is open low E, 2nd fret of the A and the D, open G, 3rd fret of the B and high E. Lastly, we have a D chord, just standard old D. It's going to be open D, 2nd fret of the G, 3rd fret of the B, 2nd fret of the high E, like that. Cool? All right, so let's talk about the first chord progression we're going to do. We'll be on the G, and then quickly go into the D over F sharp, right? It sounds like this, and I'll explain the strumming pattern in a second too. It goes like just this. The second half of that verse, right? Verse 2 is the second half of verse 1. So let's talk about the chorus now. Like I said, we're going to start off doing what we did in the intro. So it'll start off with, on the G, D over F sharp. We'll do it twice, just like the intro. And then it starts to change. We go to E minor 7, and then right on that next upstroke, we're gonna hit the G over B and hit the downstroke. The next upstroke, we switch to C2. It sounds like this. And then back to G. So I guess a way to help you, it'll go down, 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 up. Right on that first upstroke. Let's go ahead and try these parts with a metronome. We'll start off with the main progression in the intro, right? Here we go. 2, ready, go. Okay, and remember, we'll use that again in the chorus later. So here's the verse, 2, ready, go. This is the lead 1 lesson, right? As we mentioned in the intro video, we're gonna have 2 lead guitar lessons because they're kind of 2 clear-cut lead guitars in this song. There'll be lead 1 and then lead 2 slide. Okay. We're gonna be hovering around like the G chord and some other kind of chord stuff. The first lick we're gonna hear is right in the intro. It sounds like this. Right? If you listen to the recording, it's like a super muted thing. If you wanted to kind of be closer to that sound, I would say you could probably roll back your tone knob, maybe not all the way, maybe like halfway, and to get that darker sound. Or even more if you want to. It's kind of hard to get it just right because I'm sure they took a few things to get it right. So anyways, what we're playing, 3rd fret of low E is where we start. And then the D string open, hammer on the 2nd fret. 3rd fret of low E again. And then 3rd fret of the G, bend it up a half step. Back to 3rd fret of the low E. And then open D. And then pick the 2nd fret of the D. I'm sorry though. When using a slide, in case you haven't done a whole lot of work with one, you don't want to play, you know how like when you're fretting notes, you're right in between the frets or like right up next to it. Like say you're playing the 12th fret of the high E. You're like right behind the fret usually when you play without a slide. Now with the slide, you want to hover directly above the fret. That's how you make it sound in tune. You don't want to be between the frets, you want to be right on top of it. So say I have like an E, and I was going to play like an E on the same note on the B string. If I were between the frets, it would sound like this. Sorry. I want to be right above the fret. See what I mean? So yeah. So now let's get to the outro. We start with the same lick. Sorry, I played a little wrong. But same as the solo, even the guitar harmony part. I'm sorry. All that's the same up till there. It's really just the last couple measures that are a little different. It sounds like this. Okay, so kind of an idea we've worked on already. 15th fret, slide down to the 13th and back up and back down. So, and then hit it again, slide down. And then now with something different, we go 15th fret of the B, 15th fret of the high E, slide down to the 13th fret, 14th fret of the G, slide up to the 16th, kind of slow, and then grab the 17th fret of the high E and just barely creep up to the 19th fret.